safety of the galaxy has been threatened again. 5 space explorers and their 5 awesome lions are called upon to form Voltron. Keith, the leader, pilot of Black Lion. Allura, Princess of Aris, pilot of Blue Lion. Hunk, the strongman, pilot of Yellow Lion. Pidge, the computer expert, pilot of Green Lion. And Lance, the rebellious daredevil pilot of Red Lion. These lions must once again battle Prince Lotor, Witch Hagar, and their forces of doom, who want nothing more than to destroy all that is good. The Galaxy Alliance, under the leadership of Amalgamus and the reformed King Zarkon, have called these great pilots and their robot lions together again to form Voltron, the third dimension.
Well, you probably know by now that Voltron is the hot new computer animated TV series.
Yeah, you've got that right.
This is my friend Joe.
And this is my friend Nikki. And together we're going to take you for a behind-the-scenes look at
Voltron, the third dimension.
Voltron is the first computer animated series to be produced 100% in the United States.
Whoa, hold on a minute, Nick. We've got a Code 9 alert.
Code 9? Whoa! We haven't had one of those since Planet Orion quit the Alliance. Oh man, that was back in...
Cut the trip down memory lane, Pidge.
Speaking of trips down memory lane, Voltron actually started out years ago, in Japan.
I think that was Japanese for Voltron rules.
Right. In the early 80s, Ted Koppler at World Events Productions brought Voltron from Japan right here to Hollywood, California,
where he got new music, new sound effects, and of course, he learned to speak English.
Lionhead attack!
Come on, guys. Eyes on the prize.
For blazing sword!
So that's how Voltron became Defender of the Universe, and he's been defending it ever since.
Done a pretty good job too. I mean, the universe is still here and all.
That's right, and meanwhile, the Voltron series became a mega hit. #1 in the US.
And in Great Britain.
And it played in 84 countries with double platinum videos, comic books, and toys, toys, toys.
Commander Keith, Princess Allura, welcome.
Thank you. It's been a long time since we've been called on a peace mission.
I hope we can help. Our success probability is 6.14.
But the amazing thing was the Voltron craze continued for 14 years, playing all around the world, appearing on hundreds of websites, and it's still appearing on the Cartoon Network.
And that's why World Events decided to bring Voltron into the 21st century by using the very latest computer technology to create Voltron,
the third dimension.
I'm here with Bill Schultz, who is the producer, and Mike Young, who's the executive producer of Voltron. So what exactly does a producer do?
Producer does a little bit of everything. Actually, you hire a director to direct the show, you hire a writer to write the show, you hire sound people to do the sound, you hire actors to do the voices, but somebody has to coordinate everything. And just like in an orchestra where you'd have a conductor, the producer sort of makes sure that everything all comes together.
Peace is the only solution.
Keith, he's pulling something out of his belt!
A recording device, hothead. I have documented your peace offer, but I need a few days to decide.
We will be waiting, son. Shake hands as a sign of goodwill.
Will Commander Keith shake hands with his mortal enemy?
He's not entirely rational, Lotor. I mean, he's been... He was shot down by the Voltron force, and he's been horribly disfigured, and he's now a sort of bionic person with a plate in his head, and he's not the prettiest.
Lotor! Look at his face.
The doctors welded him back together, but he's not going to win any beauty contest. He's about half cybernetic.
Almost every episode, you know, he's doing some dastardly plan, and at the end of it, Allura will be mine. And you think, yeah, I don't think so, baby.
I will possess you, Allura.
Keith, watch him.
As you can tell, this is not like any animation you've ever seen before.
It's the absolute latest and greatest. And to meet the cool guys who create this stuff, we're going to Netter Digital Studios.
Let's go, Voltron Force!
And why was Netter Digital chosen for the production house?
We've been doing Babylon 5, the effects for Babylon 5 for the last couple of years, and the methodology we used there we thought would be good to apply to a completely CG show. So we spent some time with Mike Young and Bill Schultz, and we were chosen to apply that methodology to Voltron.
Voltron, the third dimension.
Castle of Lions, this is Amalgamus. Come in.
Koran, bring Galaxy Garrison in on the view screen. This is Princess Allura transmitting from Castle Control.
My peace talks with Prince Lotor have broken down. Since you were involved in this matter, I would like you to come to Galaxy Garrison at once. I will expect you in 3 solar clicks.
So can you tell me, why does Voltron look so different from other 3D shows?
There's a couple reasons. One of the reasons would be when we render Voltron, we can have shadows, reflections, refraction, things that generally you don't see in kids shows because they're too costly and too CPU intensive. Essentially, it takes too long to render things like that. Using Lightwave, which is the software that we use, and Magpie, which allows us to do the mouth positions, and it gives us just the right render for us to be able to pull off things looking more realistic.
Yeah, basically we kind of went for a little bit darker a look than most of the kids shows. We feel that kids these days are a little bit, they have more discriminating tastes than I think most people give them credit for. So basically we're going for a more scary, moody feel for the entire show.
Hey guys, I didn't realize I was dealing with such bad hombres. In fact, you got me so scared, I'm gonna run away.
I play Allura, who is the princess and the female, I like to think of her as the head of the team, but she's one of the members of the team. And she's very feminine, but she's very much in charge and very much in control. And she goes, Keith, Lance! Keith, Lance! It's you!
Okay, can you show us the computer animated process?
Sure. Once the model is constructed, and we've actually it has form, and it has been textured, which gives it the look that we want. Then we come in and we animate it in what we call a wire frame, where each individual piece can be moved and manipulated like a hand is separate from the arm, so we can bend the hands, the mouths, and all these things move. And we create what we call a wire frame preview, and then we go through what we call the rendering process, where we send the shot to our bank of computers, and those actually physically draw all the pictures that are the final pictures that you'll actually see on TV.
Eric, I'm looking at all these 2D pencil drawings, and isn't Voltron supposed to be a purely 3D show?
Yeah, even though it's primarily a 3D show, we still need to come up with the concepts in 2D first. And as long as we can think of all the problems there, we can save a lot of the animators' time.
So after you've designed the main characters, what do you draw next?
Well, the next step isn't really drawing. I think it's the script writing. The designs have nowhere to go unless you have a good storyline and a script.
Voltron, the third dimension.
Well, we're across town now at Mike Young Productions. These are some Voltron scripts, and those are the Voltron writers. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt your story meeting, guys, but I've just been looking through the Voltron scripts, and, well, how can I describe them?
Mondo Bizarro. Blue Lion. What is it? Who thought of those things?
I don't know.
I mean, these stories are a bit strange, Mark. Where in the world do you get your writers from?
From the Weird Writers Directory. These guys are actually listed in the Twisted section.
Yes. Sure. Cross-reference under Warped.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that would explain it. Well, this is Mark Handler. He was head writer on the original Voltron series, and he's head writer on the new series, so I guess he's keeper of the flame. How do you approach a new series anyway?
We started by looking at the old series and asked ourselves what kept Voltron so popular all of these years when other shows like it, other space shows, other robot shows have come and gone. And the answer is, we think, the mythical elements of the series. Voltron he's a legend. He's made out of 5 lions that are mystical and magical. He wasn't just built in some R&D lab by a bunch of engineers. So we have 5 lions. They're connected to the Castle of Lions, which in turn is connected to 5 primal elements. And our Princess Allura lives in that castle. She grew up there, and she goes down into the archive chambers and searches for her destiny, trying to uncover the mysteries of the lions. And her father appears, King Alfor, as a ghost who speaks to her from beyond. So these kinds of elements are what we think makes the series interesting and makes it unique.
So, Pam Hickey and Dennis McCoy, what sort of secrets are uncovered in your episodes?
Well, an example is Lost Souls, which is episode 4, where we find out that there is a symbiotic link between the pilots and the lions themselves. The pilots are simply the souls of the lions. They don't run without them. Amalgamus, the robot leader of the Alliance, who has a little bit of a problem with his own, with understanding humanity, decides that it would be more efficient to put drone robots into the lions.
All systems prepare to activate.
Yo! Abandoned ship!
Insert keys and activate.
There they go. Without us.
Without their souls.
And it just doesn't work. You know, visually this is interesting. The kids will get it. They tried to get together to form the monster. It doesn't work. A battle is lost. And through the plot, you find that the lions actually reject the droid. The droids, it's very interesting the way it looks.
My poor lion. They've hurt you. I was right. You need a human pilot. You need a soul. Let's get back into action.
So Mike, where did the idea for Voltron come from and how did you get involved?
World Events decided that they wanted to get into this new medium called CGI 3D, and we had previously produced several shows for them, and so they came to us as producers, and we came up with a pilot, some experimental footage, and they convinced themselves that they should actually make the show.
Voltron, the third dimension.
We're here now with Kelly Ward.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, Kelly. Kelly's written hundreds of animation scripts, but catch this, he was also one of the T-Birds with John Travolta in the original film Grease. Kelly, you're an actor, singer, dancer, and now you write scripts for Voltron, and you're also the voice director for the show. Does the word multi-talented come to mind? So, Kelly, is there a special connection between you writing and directing?
Well, there really is, because writing in animation is essentially the first step towards directing a picture. In addition, it's also editing the film, because you're calling your shots and you're directing camera, and all your cuts and all the props that have to be in a scene are all provided by the writer to begin with, so you are, in essence, directing the picture. So for me, a real treat comes when we're able to go into the studio and begin recording the copy with the actors.
I planted that ages ago. Why do you think his super brain was always coming to such super ridiculous conclusions? Why, he tried to disband the Voltron force 5 times.
I think you're going to have even more humor on the of course.
And he would say, that wasn't fast enough. Take off a quarter of a second. We go, Voltron's here! And he'd go, good, give me another one. Voltron's here! And that was it. And that's how we did the first show. Now, we're a cast. It's like a family. You know, we keep hearing how robot pilots are better than human pilots. Why don't we test it out?
Point taken. Boys, if you can catch us, you can have us.
I play Keith, who's the leader of the Voltron force, and he has a little something going with Allura, and he also has a tremendous rivalry with his kid brother Lance. Lance is always sort of trying to do it his own way, and Keith has to say something like,
Lance, I'm tired of this. You're going to do it our way, or you're not going to do it at all.
Lance, I thought
thought you were flying stunt shows. You're not allowed on this ship. You know how much trouble I could get in?
So by the time the recording session is done, we have a tape based on the script.
And we already have our character designs, but we're not ready to start animating yet. First, we need something called storyboards.
This is where storyboards are conformed, and this is the man in charge of them, Michael Swanigan. Michael, these storyboards look kind of like comic books or something. What exactly is the purpose for a storyboard?
Well, storyboards are to translate the scripts into pictures, like a blueprint, for the animation company, in this case the CGI company, to make actual pictures move. For instance, we have a scene here where the lions are flying down to the planets. The camera rotates as they come forward and land, and that'll all be done over at the CGI company. Before we go to the animatic process, the artwork is given to David, who composites it and scans it for the abacus. After it goes from the abacus, which is the room next door to us, it comes over to Rich's department.
Right, Rich, once it comes here, what do you then do with it?
Basically at this point, I sit here and I put the animatic into order, numerical order for the episode, put in down the timing of the show, and also put the voice track underneath.
My new road beasts will enjoy tearing those lions to shreds.
So after the animatics and the storyboards are finished, guess where they go? Back to Netta Digital. Now we're here at a different part of the Netta Studios. This is where they do a very special process called motion capture, also known as mocap. Nikki is already here with Mike Parente, who has us suited up in a really unique outfit. So Mike, what is this? Some kind of new fashion craze in California? I mean, I know the UK has some weird clothing styles, but we don't wear ping pong balls all over our clothes, that's for sure.
Well, actually, Joe, this suit is part of the motion capture process. Nikki's wearing an outfit that's covered with 35 markers, which are actually these reflective balls. The room has 8 infrared cameras mounted around the ceiling, and what that'll do will capture her motion on the balls that are placed on strategic points in her body, so we can capture her motion in 3D. Well, Nikki, what we've done is put markers on your sword here as well, and I'm going to have you start on the X and pretend that you're our heroine Alora, and I want you to give me a good swing to the right and maybe a swing to the left, okay? Without hitting me in the head. So this is how the infrared cameras see the motion. The motion analysis system then stores the information, it's rendered and then sent over to the animators. The animators then inject the motion into the characters, and that's what gives them such lifelike qualities. So now let's take a look at Nikki's motion in 3D.
Sure.
So what do you think?
This is all just amazing. I tell you, no wonder they look so lifelike on screen.
Here they come.
Oh yeah, Hunk. He's like a Bowery Boy Bruiser, Yellow Line.
Talks like this. One of these kind of guys, you know what I'm saying? Hey, how you doing? Hey, nice mince pies, princess. You know what I mean?
That kind of thing. And King Zarkon, the evil King Zarkon, but who's not so evil because I'm pretending to be good, you see. But deep down inside, I want to, well, I want to rule the world.
Of course, we've heard about how you, reformed Zarkon.
You caused it by defeating Lotor. When I saw my own son barely alive, I realized what a fool I'd been. I swore if he lived, I'd follow the path of peace.
Our kids are going to like this. They're going to like this show.
I will expect you in 3 solar clicks. Begin lion launch sequence now.
And finally, when they put the whole episode together, we end up with this.
Nice animation, but what's wrong with this picture?
Actually, there's nothing wrong with the picture, it's just the sound that's missing.
And that's where sound effects and music come in, and they're put together in the mix. Hey, we're here here with Steve Marson, who is the composer of Voltron. Now, Steve, what role does the music play in the series?
The music has a huge effect on the picture because by itself it just looks very flat. You know, the picture looks great, but it's just flat. You add the music, it adds drama, it adds action, helps to tie everything together.
Stopping me from taking my shot at Lotor. Lotor will blow him out of the sky. No drone pilot knows that maniac like I do.
Pidge is, you know, like I said, he's kind of a computer nerd, and he spends a lot of time in front of the computer screen, you know, figuring out things and, you know, checking stuff out and making fun of Hunk.
Relax, Hunk. The Alliance needs big, dumb, and obedient, and you only score 2 out of 3.
And I also do, you know, a couple of interstitial voices in the show. One of them is like this big goofball mutant.
You know who talks like this? His name is Queequeg.
Meet Rick Hinson. He's the sound effects editor on Voltron. He's the president of the Motion Picture Sound Editors and an Emmy Award-winning sound effects editor, right?
Yeah.
Got it all. Tell me, which character requires the most sound effects?
That'd have to be Amalgamus, because he's a robot. Every little click and movement that he does, every movement has a click, every movement has a servo that, you know, a sound with it. And so, whereas a human just sits there and breathes, he's constantly making noises. And
because of your actions, you have jeopardized the peace treaty the Alliance was negotiating with Lotor.
I would say that my favorite Voltron character's got to be Lotor, because this is a guy who's as evil as you could possibly be. And for as evil as he is, nothing ever gets him down. He can be a moment away from complete disaster, and it gets him more enthusiastic about, great, now's my chance to really do something bad. So he's just really that guy that just keeps coming back for more.
And he's English as well, and I'm Welsh, so, you know, I like to see the English as bad guys.
Well, Lotor says things like, well, what would he say?
Blast the Red Lion. Blast him now.
And they get blasted. Because Lotor is God.
Well, thanks for spending time with us and looking into the special world of Voltron. We hope you enjoyed it.
And it's certainly been worth it for us as soon as we get to meet everyone involved.
That's right. Well, that about wraps things up. Let's see. How do you say goodbye in Voltron?
One lone lion crossing the stars to battle evil. Will he find his prey? Will he survive to fight another day? And will he ever again be part of that mighty legend, Voltron?
What he said.